Hello, all. So, in every NEET PG counseling, what is the first specialty that people take? Radiology, dermatology, and the top specialties. I mean, orthopedics and all that. But the thing is, most of the toppers really don't want to take up general medicine. Okay, so if it is an intermediate stage where you really want to go into the super specialties like cardiology, nephrology, and endocrine, rheumatology, I totally understand. But some really want to practice with general medicine. So this particular video is for such kind of people. So if you're only practicing with general medicine, can you make more than 10 lakh rupees per month? Is it possible? Okay, if it is possible, then what model you have to follow is what I'm going to explain. The model which I am going to explain would not be possible in like 6 months, 1 year. It will take 4 to 5 years, but it is surely possible. Let me explain before that what is the saturation level of general medicine. I have done a video before, but this is only I would like to explain what the saturation level in a city like Bangalore. Let me tell you how many general medicine doctors would be there in a city like Bangalore. Okay. For that, I'll show you the calculation. For example, the total registered doctors in Karnataka are nearly 1.5 lakhs, nearly. Okay, in that, let's assume that 30% doctors are practicing in Bangalore. Okay, I'm taking a very conservative numbers here. So that is more like 45,000 doctors would be practicing in Bangalore. In that, if you assume that 30% are specialists, okay, so around 13,000 to 14,000 or 15,000 doctors would be your specialists who have done their MD, MS, and DNB and all that. In that, again, let us assume that only 10% of the doctors are general medicine doctors. These are very conservative numbers. This will come to around 1,300 to 1,500 doctors. Let us assume that some have retired and some are not into active clinical practice, and some are into teaching and academics, right? So, considering all these things, I'm assuming that around 1,000 to 1,200 people would be practicing general medicine with an MD degree in Bangalore. So then, if you ask me, then is it saturated? If you see the numbers, Bangalore has a population of 1.4 to 1.5 crore people. Then, if you divide 1,000 with that, or 1,200 or something like that, every 14,000 people would have an MD physician. So, math wise, it is not saturated. But the problem here is I interacted with a lot of MD general medicine people who are having their clinics who are very early into practice. When I asked them, do you really feel Bangalore is saturated? What they told me is, Dr. Neeraj, Bangalore, we feel that it is saturated because patients are not coming. When we started our OPDs, hardly 3 to 4 patients would come in a day, or like some days nobody would come. So they felt it is saturated. But the my personal opinion is that I don't think the problem is saturation here. The problem is uneven distribution. I'll try to tell you what happens. So what happens is the junior would feel it is saturated, who started his practice after family general medicine. But actually, what is happening is the most of the patients in a city like Bangalore would go to branded hospitals like Apollo's, Asters, Manipal's, Fortes, and all these things would be there. Or they would go through platforms like Practo or so many RX, DX, and then there is something called as like so many platforms are there. No? All these platforms would finally lead the patients based on the ratings in the apps. The rated doctors are again located in these corporate hospitals. Second thing is nowadays patients want all the investigations and everything should be done under one roof in one go. And if insurance is covered, is even more better. But usually OPD practice is not covered into insurance, but everything comfort is required. So everything should be covered in one particular center. And third thing is seniority. Like they want to go to some person who's like 20 plus years, 30 plus years experience. So juniors are not usually getting patients because of these reasons. And the second reason in the city is what I'm noticing it is the direct going to the referral doctors. Like for example, pulmonologist, if they have a lung problem, they're going to pulmonologist or a cardiologist or endocrinologist for diabetes. So the general medicine youngster who started is feeling that it is saturated, but actually number wise it is not saturated. So that is what you have to understand. So that is my opinion about saturation. Let us go to the a video of whether a general medicine doctor can earn 10 lakhs or not. Let me tell you first. Here, the principle of time you have to understand. You have to give some time, okay? Because in time, with time, what will happen is there is something called trust which builds. Okay, like for example, you treat a patient, he gets his neighbor to you. You treat patient, he gets his uncle to you. It will take 2 3 years time. You have to sit in one place for 3 to 4 years or 5 years sometimes. And there is something called as disease recurrence. For example, you don't need some thousands of patients actually. You just need some 100 loyal ones, and then they would have some kind of seasonal diseases like diabetes, hypertension, some chronic diseases where some seasonal variations are there. So they again keep coming to you, and then some kind of a familiar ecosystem you develop in that particular location when you actually stay in a place for more than 4 or 5 years. So let us assume that you, as a doctor, MD general medicine doctor, who started his practice in a particular place, and he stayed there for 4 years. First year, he was getting an average of 5 patients every day to the OPD. And second year, he was getting around 10 patients. Third year, 20. And fourth year, he reached 25 to 30 patients in a day. Then, if I inquired with many general medicine people, this kind of practice is considered a very good practice. And if, for example, if 100 doctors are practicing like this, hardly 10% people would have this kind of a very good practice in cities like Bangalore. In smaller places, yes, you will have, but in cities like Bangalore, to have 30 patients in a day is not very easy. It will, one, take time. Second, not everyone can reach it. Let us assume you reach that point. Then how the math is going to go is what we are discussing. So, for example, on an average in a city, the OPD charge would be around 600 rupees to 700 rupees. Let us take it 600. Let's go conservative. 30 patients are coming in a day, right? If you multiply, you will not work for 4 Sundays. Like 26 days if you work. You multiply 30 into 600, 26 is like 4,68,000. Okay, here there is a catch. The catch is that there is a receptionist or somebody you have to pay the kind of salary. Some people pay 6,000. It might go up to 30,000 based on number of hours, how many hours you are using them. If it's 1 hour, 2 hours, it can be 6, 7,000. But full day if you're keeping, you have to give 25 to 30,000. And the rent will be anywhere between 30 to 50,000. Look, depending on the location. Utilities, consumables, little bit of marketing expenses and all that would be around 70,000 to 80,000 in a month, which will lead to like 4,68,000 minus 70,000. If you remove 3.8 lakhs is what, or 4 lakhs you can earn. Okay, and then let us assume it's not your own OPD and you're operating a polyclinic where you actually give some percentage to them. Normally, how it operates is around 30% is what a hospital, the polyclinic keeps, and 70% will be given to you in the OPD charges. So if you see like that, then what happens is if you're seeing the same 30 patients there, then what happens is here the headache of establishment, headache of maintaining all that won't be there for you, but the amount of money you earn also is slightly lesser. Here, if you take you're seeing the same 30 patients, after removing all the expenses and 30% which the polyclinic owner takes, you will be left with around 2.8 to 2.9 lakhs, around 3 lakhs, let's assume. Okay, that is the kind of money you can make if you're after 4 years. Okay, so but this is pretty decent because it's like you are earning a decent amount of money, and you can live a very luxurious life with this 3 to 5 lakhs in a city like Bangalore. I'm giving guarantee for that. Next, if you also have a little bit of entrepreneurial mindset, you can keep your nebulizations, ECGs, IVs, and a little bit special permissions are required for that. For doing all these things, you can earn anywhere between 50,000 to 1 lakh extra to what you're earning if you do little bit of basic first aid care to the patients. So final net earning would, you can keep anywhere between 4 to 5 lakhs if you're practicing in this model. Okay. Now, if you ask me, then what if I have a small hospital? Well, like 10, 20 beds are there, and I'm just admitting 1 or 2 patients in a day. I'll show you because many doctors actually do that. Okay, for example, you're seeing the same 30 patients, 600 rupees you're charging, you're making 4,68,000. Okay, along with that, daily one patient you're admitting from among the 30 patients. For example, uncontrolled diabetes or some breathing difficulty or some acute asthma or something. They wanted the patient to stay there overnight. So, see, in this way, actually you're doing service to them because if they go to a major corporate or somewhere, they will charge anywhere between 30 to 50,000. You can actually take some 10, 20, 10 to 12,000 and treat them like very close to their home. It will be, and then it's like a very simple thing, no? Like you give some insulin if it's uncontrolled uh, diabetes, or if it is some nebulizations, if it is an acute asthma attack or something, you manage them overnight. And then what happens is you can charge them 10,000 daily. One patient, if you're admitting another 3 to 4 lakhs, you can make there. So technically, if you add this 3 to 4 lakhs to that 4,68,000, it should become around 8 to 9 lakhs, right? But here is the catch. To maintain this, to get this 8 lakhs, to maintain this particular setup, you need 10 to 6 to 10 staffs, at least I mean nurses, and then the mortgage for that, I mean the rent for that particular building, 10-bed facility, 10 beds only I'm talking about, will be 80,000 to 1 lakh minimum in Bangalore. And then staff 6 to 10 people, 1.5 lakh will go there. Drugs, consumables, and then electricity charges, housekeeping, maintenance, equipment and all that if you take, 4 to 5 lakhs will go in all this operation costs. Finally, you're left with less money than your OPD. 3 to 3.5 lakhs only you're left with, even after admitting and taking this extra headache. So better to go for only OPD practice than having a small 10-bedded hospital. Then if you ask me, then Dheeraj, if you're telling like that, then why are people having small hospitals? Yes, I'll come to that point now. The point is that if you are admitting 2 patients in a day, the math will totally change. Okay, 3 patients, so it'll even more change. 2 patients every day, which is actually difficult to do. Okay, because you don't know the reality. 2 patients by chance you're famous, and 2 patients every day you're admitting. Then the math will turn in your favor. Okay, then what happens is the same math, 10 to 12,000 you're taking per patient. So 2 patients, so 6 to 9 lakhs you'll make there, and your operating costs are anyway the same. Okay, that is 4 to 5 lakhs. So you can actually do the math. So from your OPDs you get 4,68,000, and you get another 9 lakhs from here. And the end of it, if you actually do all the math, you'll get around 6 to 7 lakhs. If you admit 2 patients, by that is the max I think you can do in that part of career. And even for successful practicing patient, admitting 1 to 2 patients is only possible every day. Like 3 patients, 4 patients in a day, nobody can admit. It will happen only in a bigger multi-specialty hospitals. Like you know, yeah, you know all the names of that. So this is the level of income that you can achieve in this model. But if you ask me, then this video is about 10 lakhs per month, right? Is that really possible? Based on all these calculations, I don't think a general medicine doctor can make that amount of money. So answer is, see, with general medicine, with these models, it is not possible. But the model which I'm going to tell you now, it is surely possible. So if you're an OPD fan and if you want to do the same thing with OPD, then around 10 to 15 beds is the capacity that you need to build. A small hospital you have to build. You build a small hospital, what will happen is if your practice really picks and if you see 25 30 patients in a day, 3 patients if you admit, then the game will totally change. If you do all the math, about 10 to 12,000 per patient if you're charging in a day, and 3 patients you're admitting in a day, then the IPD profit, the pharmacy and the lab tie-ups and all these things, if you take 8 to 10 lakhs easily, you can earn. But admitting 3 patients is not easy. So you need a very strong marketing strategy and a very good name you have to build in that particular place. And also depends on the season sometimes. So we are talking about average in a year. You might admit 5 6 patients in a season in a month, or 0.1 in some months. So average of 3 patients if you admit in a day, you can easily make 8 to 11 lakhs in a month. But small hospital is required for that. Okay, because the operating costs are very high. And the second thing is another model is that if you can't make 10 lakhs and all, but if you have a clinic and a daycare facility where you admit and discharge in the evening, and also you go for home services and all that. But like we have a team of people who go to homes and then treat them for all nebulizations and all the basic things if you're doing. And even in that model also you can actually make around 6 to 8 lakhs, but not 10 lakhs. And really, if you are entrepreneurial, and the model 3 is like if you are entrepreneurial mindset, then you can have a chain of clinics. You can appoint other general medicine guys there or MBBS people, and you will oversee them, and you can run the small hospital group. In that model, it is possible, but you're too early for that. That should be done with some kind of experience and contacts and political support, and some kind of support should be there in that place. So then, if you ask me to summarize whether general medicine doctor can earn this kind of money, I think it is still possible, but I think around 4 to 7 lakhs around say you can earn with the OPD practice. So then in corporate hospitals, the general medicine doctors, if you're getting opportunity, better take up a salary if possible, because if you do all the math, if you go by the number of patients wise, you might get lesser salary. So agree for a salary per month fixed, irrespective of number of patients that you're seeing, would be a better way of deal that you can make with a hospital. If you're admitting some patients and all that, then the incentive based model, if you go, you'll be stuck, is what my personal feeling is. The incentive-based model would suit very well for surgeons or interventional cardiologists or interventional radiologists or some anesthesiologists or procedure-based specialties would earn more in an incentive model. But intensive care specialists, emergency specialists, and then the general medicine doctors who are saying OPDs, I think we should go with salaries and it's a more safer model. But if your OPD is like 50, 60, 70 people, then you can go for incentive model. This is my personal opinion. There can be some flaws in the numbers. If somebody feels I'm telling wrong, you can put in the comment section. I don't have any issues. Okay, this is my personal opinion. Next video I'm doing about why surgery is a business, where I'll explain about why surgeons earn significantly more than other specialties in India. And surgeons, by definition, I mean even an interventional pulmonologist, interventional radiologist, and even a gynecologist, everyone would fall in the surgical radius. Basically, people are doing procedures running more in India, not only India, globally. So, how much would be their earnings? On what basis actually they're being, compensated in bigger hospitals, smaller hospitals, and all these kind of things I will discuss in the next video. So these videos are not to actually, uh, you know, uh, instigate some kind of a money-minded mindset for doctors, but many doctors are coming out with zero knowledge about finances, and they don't know how to actually, negotiate their initial packages. I'm seeing all that. So rather than going with a blind mindset to hospital, and you actually go for a job, and you see these kind of videos, at least you have an understanding about what kind of plan you should agree with when you're going to a hospital. So these are the things which are very important. I have another story also. I think I can't mention the hospital, but a team which thought that that want to go incentive based actually earn less than their salaries actually after going into incentive model. So these kind of things also are there. I hear a lot of stories like that. So what I feel is working with a salary is very safe for general medicine doctors in corporate hospitals, but always try to build your OPD. In a longer run, you will build your personal brand. That is the take home message from this video. Thank you, and thank you very much for following the video till the end.